Happy Friday, Florida State. Welcome to our November 2nd edition of FSU Weather. I'm meteorologist Jay Karstens.
And I'm student meteorologist Sarah Converse.
And we're starting off our show with some breaking news out of Central Florida. Tallahassee dodged a serious severe weather bullet today as some things really went haywire in parts of Central Florida, including near Tampa.
Yeah, definitely. There was actually a tornado confirmed in Pasco County that dropped down, and also a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings off into Orlando area around Central Florida.
Yeah, those storms are starting to push off into the Atlantic now, and around here we're starting to see signs of improving conditions. Feeling a little bit cooler out there if you step outside about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, definitely. I put on my jeans and my jacket, and I was like, oh, the little bursts of like cold wind that came through, like I was like, nah! I was like, it's really feeling like fall here in Tallahassee.
And we're calling it FROPA Friday. I just invented that term right about now. We're going to start to see conditions gradually clearing out through the rest of the night and setting up for what we really couldn't ask for a better day tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Yes, I have plans to like go out and try to go out and make sure to take advantage of this cool and fall-like temperatures. But for now, we're going to send things over to the wall with Harrison with our overview.
Yes, thank you guys. We're currently sitting at 64 degrees outside. We have overcast conditions and we have a breeze out of the west-northwest at 16 miles an hour. We've got clouds, as I mentioned, over Tallahassee currently, and some rain that came through earlier. That is pushing off towards Gainesville, and that should move out of our viewing area pretty shortly here. As we take a look at our region here, we've got that cold front that's sitting over Florida for the most part, and then we have another one that's actually over the Arkansas area. That won't actually make it down into our region, but we will have another cold front come through as we get into the beginning of next week. Our 3-day forecast, we're looking at temperatures in the lower 70s for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday should be absolutely beautiful. Great temperatures in the morning if you like a little cool breeze outside. And then our headlines for the area, we've got a great day for tomorrow. Clouds and rain will come back as we get into the beginning of next week, and we will have a lot of unsettled next week, a lot of unsettled weather next week. For now, we're going to send it over to Jake and at the desk where they will pick their next metro.
Thanks, Harrison, and a warm welcome to the newest and tallest member of the FSU Weather family.
Yeah, that was a good job. They did a great job. I know. Definitely come back to the show and keep making more tapes because we definitely need people here to help us out with the show. But I think you're going to do the honors in picking our next metro area.
It's been a while. I've actively complained in recent weeks about no Illinois references happening on the show, so let's see if I can finally get something in my home state. Drum roll, please. Well, we're going to the Midwest, to Detroit, Michigan. Up into the Great Lakes, which I'm pretty excited about. They get some fun weather up there this time of year, really starting to get into to actual winter. Yeah,
winter storm, maybe see some lake effect snow, and just some cool stuff, something different from here, since we really don't see the seasons here. We don't see really snow, unless last year we did see a little bit of snow.
That was really exciting, let me tell you. We'll have your forecast for Birmingham, Alabama, last week's city of choice later on in the show. For now, we're going to send things out to Sammy at the wall for our first local forecast.
All right, thank you guys. So we're looking at our almanac right now. We're at a high of 71 today. Now, we are actually below the average, which is different for us, which is at 77 degrees. As far as the rainfall today, we observed a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. This month it's been a little less than 1/2 of an inch. Normally it's been 0.10 of an inch and 0.20 for the month, so a little bit over the average of what we have been expecting for this month. Currently though, 64 degrees. It is quite cloudy outside. Our rain is gone, but those clouds will linger through the overnight hours where it'll finally clear up for tomorrow. But first, our current conditions, looking about 64 in Tallahassee. Towards the coast, St. Mark's a little bit warmer, 69, whereas Carabel and Apalachicola, 62, 63, nice and sunny for them near the coast. As far as these dew points, now above our area is very dry, whereas going towards Florida, you can see those dew points are a little bit higher, meaning they are a little stickier, but these are all pretty low conditions. 56 for Tallahassee, feeling very comfortable outside right now. As far as our wind speed and direction, coming primarily from the northwest. Now we do have kind of a higher wind in Tallahassee of 16 miles per hour, so you're definitely feeling that breeze if you are outside within the next few hours as well. As far as Monticello though, zero, pretty much no wind. it's pretty much near Tallahassee where you have the highest wind right now. Our big story is Tallahassee, nice and cloudy, whereas you could start to see those rainy conditions and even some lightning towards the southern part of Florida and even into central Florida. That cold front has passed through Tallahassee, leaving behind some cloudy conditions, making way for sun tomorrow. But looking at the cold front as it passes through central Florida, they have lots of rain, lots of lightning within the past few hours, even tornado warnings and a tornado touchdown, which they mentioned before. Through the next 24 hours, though, cloudy for now, starts to clear up into tomorrow throughout the morning and even into the afternoon. It will be a pretty nice day out tomorrow with that high of about 70 degrees. So, nice day to go to the beach. Now, 72. For tomorrow at the beach, we do have a light chop. But for tonight's forecast, we're going to stay in the mid-40s for Tallahassee, maybe even getting up to 50 for St. Mark's. And looking at tomorrow's forecast, nice and sunny. Now I'm going to pass things over to Jake.
Thank you, Sammy. Here's that 7-day forecast really quick. 70 degrees for that high tomorrow. Really looking forward to that. The low at 45. Those cooler temperatures tonight being a big story in terms of future weather across many parts of the southeast. We look currently, we're starting to see some areas where that rainfall in central Florida is a big deal. 69 degrees in Orlando, a rain-cooled 70 in Tampa as well. We've already talked about some of that severe weather that's been happening, and we'll break that down in a little bit more detail in our Florida segment later on with Sarah. But you see evidence of this big cool down happening in parts of Georgia and Alabama, where temperatures are already dropping into the 50s still in daylight hours in those areas. You also see the front with this well-defined contrast in the dew points, these very dark green colors off to the east indicating dew points near 70 degrees. Tallahassee's right around the dividing line right about now. That front is just about passing. We're starting to see the change in the wind directions around here, and off to the west we see much drier air filtering in both the lower and upper levels of the atmosphere. Dew points as low as 40 degrees in some of these locations, even in the 30s in areas like Nashville. And here it is again with the wind speeds and directions, mostly out of the northwest now as you work through parts of the Sun Belt, Alabama, as well as Georgia, where the winds are also getting a bit gusty, up towards 16 miles per hour. More westerly as you go over towards, say, Louisiana or so, winds around 10 miles per hour generally. A bit of a gusty day out there for many of these areas, with another frontal system that's currently draped over parts of Arkansas right now. Going to steer a little bit of rainfall into northern Mississippi and Alabama later on in the evening. But again, the big story right now is that heavy rain working through the central Florida peninsula right about now. That front just about passing Tallahassee, starting to see less cloud cover off to the west side as well, and we're going to see that really be the big trend tonight into, again, a fantastic day for us tomorrow here. You see that right now in those next 24 hours. Again, some light showers trying to move in through parts of Alabama, even trying to sneak into Georgia just a little bit overnight tonight, but that will fade out. Not going to be an issue for us here in Tallahassee. And that heavy line of storms going to be clearing out of pretty much the entire state, with the exception of extreme southern Florida by the time we get into tomorrow morning and afternoon. As for the rest of the day on Saturday, pretty quiet across the entire southeast. Some cloud cover off to our west a little bit, and as well as in South Florida, as we'll start to see that front try to lift its way back up to the north as a warm front in the next couple of days, and maybe steer a little bit of rain chances, especially off to our south and east as we work into the early portion of next week a little bit. As for tonight, here's your low temperatures. 40s for much of the region, 42 in Montgomery as well as Atlanta. FSU is going to be on the road in Raleigh tomorrow, taking on 21st ranked North Carolina State. Just a fantastic day for football. A high of 64 degrees. Kickoff at 3:30 Eastern Time. You can watch that game on ABC with a light northerly wind there. And again, for that Atlanta golf forecast, of course, got to put this in here. 40 degrees as you start the round tomorrow. Definitely a better day to get out there in the afternoon, with those temperatures climbing into the middle 60s by the middle of the day tomorrow. And as for tomorrow, really just a fantastic day. Pretty much everywhere with the exception of South Florida, those storm chances are going to be sticking around. Now to send things over to the lab with Sarah.
Thanks, Jake. So we have an interesting lab today, as we're going to be talking about turkeys since Thanksgiving is coming up. So it makes sense to talk about turkeys, and also how weather affects how turkeys, how they affect turkeys. Now, I know nothing about turkeys, but I do know stuff about hunting, so it'd be cool to see some similarities between here. So we're going to see how weather conditions affect how they're gobbling, how they gobble more in different weather conditions, and also whether or not it'd be a great time to go out and hunt for turkeys as well. Now, the first thing is turkeys and rain. Now, turkeys normally congregate and feed in open areas, pastures, meadows, agricultural fields. but they do not gobble in the morning time, as they tend to stay in the trees longer when it's raining, since they do not, it's kind of like with humans, like when it's gloomy like today, you kind of want to stay in bed. So with turkeys, they like to stay up in the trees, don't like to get their feathers wet, as when they get their feathers wet, it makes it harder to fly back up in the trees for predators, since it makes them more heavier. So not a great time when it's raining, so that's why with heavy rain, they usually suppress all turkey activity. Now turkeys in the wind, they usually gobble more, around to 3 to 6 miles per hour, so lovely to track those female turkeys out and about. But when it does get windy out there, their activity is suppressed, as one of their great senses is hearing, so they can't hear themselves, and they can't hear their predators, since their hearing is their one greatest sense. But it does really depend on the area, as like in Texas, they do see more gusty winds than they do here in Florida. So it just really depends on how the turkey is accustomed to that area, kind of like with deer as well. So that's a cool similarity. Deer don't really tend to move around a lot when it's windy. Now the last thing across the board is pretty similar with cold weather. Is cold weather. A lot of animals like turkeys and deer tend to move around more, because they want to keep that blood flowing, build up that muscle and fat as they try to eat more. So when it's cold, they tend to move around, and also if you remember, they go in open fields. So hunters love when it's cold, because they tend to go out more, be a little bit more braver, and go out and feed. So hunters is really the best time to go hunting during cold areas. I know for deer as well. So hot weather, not the best for turkeys and for deer as well, so it's not very comfortable for them. But for now, I'm going to send things over to the wall with Sammy with our national.
All right, thank you, Sarah, with that segment on turkeys. Maybe here in Florida, not the best day for the turkeys here. Tallahassee is still at 64. New Orleans, nice and sunny at 67 degrees. Now, this cold front is starting to pass through Florida, but we actually have another cold front on the system, which will die out before it reaches Birmingham, Alabama. So conditions across the board are pretty dry, actually, as far as our dew points. Looking at Denver at 27, Albuquerque 30. Now, throughout the Pacific coast, now they are considered more dry. We have our drier section, whereas Florida is usually more moist. But we're actually kind of on that borderline of around 56, making it feel pretty comfortable outside here in Florida. As far as our wind speed and direction, Tallahassee being the highest on the map, except for Denver, 18 miles per hour. They are really feeling that wind, feeling pretty gusty as far as that area. Looking at our satellite and radar, pretty much the big picture. Now, this cold front has brought through a lot of severe weather within the past few hours. Now, there was a confirmed tornado touchdown, and this cold front will actually start to make its way out before it will bring back as a warm front, actually. Whereas this front, now, it will slowly start to bring weather to Alabama before it starts to die out. We will see lots of severe weather within the next week, though. For now, we're focusing on this front that is reaching central Florida right now. No severe weather on the map right now, thank goodness, but they did have severe weather earlier. Now, looking at the East Coast, as far as New York, they are getting some rain within the next few hours, and pretty much going all across the board. That is due to that cold front. Now, St. Louis, this is where that low pressure system is situated right now. That will bring more rain to the south. Looking at the Pacific Northwest, they have kind of like a rain and snow mixture right now. Near the mountains especially, that's where they have more chance of getting that snow. But through the next 24 hours, you'll see this rain start to make its way out of Florida, and with that cloudy conditions kind of sticking around southern half of Florida, whereas looking at this part of the map, you can see lots of rain to come within the next 24 hours and throughout the next day. But for tonight's forecast, looking at 45 here in Tallahassee, 41, Kansas City, getting some rain associated with that front. And Billings, Montana, 37 degrees and chances of that rain-snow mixture. But for tomorrow's forecast, looking at plenty of sun here in the southeast. Maybe not so much in Miami with that high of 83 degrees. Now we're going to send it over to Jake.
Thank you, Sammy. We're going to zoom back in towards the southeast, specifically for our state of the week here. This is a severe weather threat that we could be looking for Monday. We'll keep an eye on that for you guys. Not really going to be an issue for Tallahassee quite as much as some other areas off to the western portion of the southeast. But as we zoom into our city of the week, the Birmingham, Alabama area, we're starting to see that cold front really making its presence felt. Some clearing in some areas, including 53 degrees up in Coleman, 51 in downtown Birmingham, as well as 51 in Bessemer, which, fun fact, is the hometown of Bo Jackson, as well as another Heisman Trophy winning quarterback who went to Florida State back in the day. The current dew points right down around 40 degrees for much of the area, Springville being the high spot at 43 degrees, and off towards Talladega by the Raceway, 41 degrees. Much drier air already settling into this area compared to what we're starting to see around here in Tallahassee. And again, you see these northwesterly winds for the most part, more westerly than northerly, and lightening up quite a bit as they got that front to pass a little bit earlier than what we saw around here. So not really too much going on with that, but again, that dry air is really the big story, starting to work into both the upper and lower levels of the atmosphere here, and you're starting to see that as well with these clouds clearing out for a big chunk of the region, although we're starting to see a bit of forcing from that other frontal system that's centered over in Arkansas. A few showers trying to work into the northwestern portions of the area off towards Tupelo, not quite getting into the Birmingham immediate metro quite yet, but we'll keep an eye on that for the next couple of hours or so. And again, here's the big idea here with this frontal system, the occluded front that's stretching down from that low centered over Missouri. That's going to start to push a little bit of rain into the area overnight, so we could be looking for the possibility of some scattered showers in the overnight hours, but nothing that's really going to ruin things, cause any sort of flooding concerns, anything along those lines. Looking like an otherwise okay night. Setting up for just a beautiful start to your Saturday out there. Going to be a fantastic day to get outside and enjoy. Really about as good as we can ask for with temperatures getting towards the 70-degree point. As for overnight tonight, temperature-wise, going to be dropping into the 40s for the majority of the area. Some scattered spots. Could be seeing temps in the 30s here, which is definitely a bit of a cold blast for you guys out there. As you work into the afternoon tomorrow, temperature is going to be heating up into the mid to upper 60s for most areas, getting up towards 64 in downtown Birmingham, and again 64 in Bessemer as well. Tonight, 30 is going to be expected to the northern parts of the region as well as down towards Sylacauga, 41 in downtown Birmingham. And as for tomorrow, upper 60s, suns everywhere. What a time to be alive. Going to send things over to Sarah with a look at our Florida forecast.
Thanks, Jake. So the big picture of Florida is that this cold front is slowly moving its way out through Central Florida, bringing in a lot of that severe weather down there, which I'll get to in just a moment. Here's the current temperatures right now. You can really see where that cold front has moved off through as we have those cooler temperatures behind, 62 in Pensacola, and then as we get warmer, just a tad bit in Miami at 83. Now our dew points, we see that muggy conditions continue on for the central and South Florida as that cold front sticks around, bringing in a lot of moisture. But as you can see behind that cold front, we have that dry air start to push its way through, 45 in Pensacola. So pretty dry conditions over into our western portion. So almost close to that chapstick season out there. Now moving into our wind speed and direction, you can really see where this frontal system is stationary right now. You can see these winds converging together over into the central part of Florida, into Tampa and Orlando. The winds have died down a little bit. I know Orlando, they were seeing some pretty gusty winds as this cold front is starting to move off into the Atlantic. So pretty breezy in Fort Myers at 17 miles per hour. And if you remember that wind speed, you can really see where that cold front is perfectly mapped out with our satellite and radar, bringing in a lot of lightning, some good storms out in the Jacksonville area and draping down into Central Florida. We did see a confirmed tornado in Pasco County. So this cold front did pack a punch, which Tallahassee did miss a bullet with that. But for the Panhandle, we're seeing cloudy conditions, so it's still a bit gloomy out here in the Panhandle, but a lot of that activity is going to move off through. You can see that cloud cover start to push its way to our east, bringing in that clear conditions as that high pressure system moves off through. Then for tonight's forecast, going to see cooler like temperatures, so you may need a jacket as you go out. These are pretty chilly for my taste. 50 in St. Mark's, 45 in Tallahassee, Mariana at 43. Now in Central Florida, you can really see those dark reds, those oranges, as they saw before in that 3 o'clock hour, bringing in some severe weather, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, and that tornado in Pasco County. But a lot of that activity is dying out as it moves offshore. So for Central Florida, going to be seeing some lingering showers as it moves off into the Atlantic. 52 near my hometown in Ocala, 57 in Daytona Beach, and 66 in Cocoa Beach. Now for South Florida, they're also seeing some activity down there as well. We have some good amount of lightning in these few little pockets of some storms and showers as they move off into our eastward fashion. And as we get into our tonight's forecast, sitting down a little bit warmer than up here, sitting at 69 in Fort Myers, 41 in Naples, and 73 in Homestead. So here's our futurecast showing that cold front push its way through to Central Florida by moving out by Saturday or tomorrow morning. So seeing those clear conditions behind that front. So pleasant conditions for the weekend. So definitely go out for that Saturday. It continues to move off through for our Saturday evening. Now for tomorrow's forecast, going to be sitting at a beautiful gradient of those cooler-like temperatures and slowly warmer-like temperatures as we move down to South Florida. But for now, I'm going to send things over to the desk with Sammy and Jake.
Thank you, Sarah. So we are going to be talking about current events going on. Right now, we actually have the Halloween edition of FSU Circus.
Yeah, that's been going on since last week. The Halloween shows are always a fantastic time. I've been to a couple of them my first couple of years at Florida State. They got a show going on 7 o'clock tonight, so if you're watching our live stream, you still have some time to get over there. There's some tickets available. For tomorrow's tickets, our normal tickets are going to be sold out already, but if you're a Florida State student, you will still be able to get in with a student ID.
With that free admission as well. So a cool thing to check out, something to do right now. As far as tomorrow, though, we have the Tallahassee Science Festival, and we are going to be there as AMS. We have a little booth going on that will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yeah, so if you want to head down to Clayman Plaza, it's going to be, like Sarah was saying, a fantastic day to do that. Please get outside. It's going to be great. And we're going to be there, not just with the American Meteorological Society and National Weather Association, I know it's a long name, chapter, but us here at FSU Weather, we're going to have a little bit of an area set up where you can get the chance to be a weather forecaster for a day. We've done this at a couple of events in the past, and it's been an absolute hit with the kids, so we're excited to get back out there and do that again.
So come say hello if you are planning on heading over there. Other fun things to do, we have the Greek Food Festival. Now that is at the Holy Mother of God Greek Church. So that will be tonight and tomorrow. It's an all-day event, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah, free admission too. This is near the intersection of Mahan Drive and Capitol Circle Northeast over on Phillips Road. So on the northeast side of Tallahassee if you guys are looking for something else to do. And again, that runs through 10 o'clock tonight as well as pretty much all day tomorrow. Going to be another fun time.
So we have lots of events to come check out, and next week as well, we do have the North Florida Fair. So plenty of things to do the next few days. But for now, we're going to take it over to our last local.
Yep, thank you guys. And right now we're going to look southwest across campus at Doak Campbell Stadium, where we can see those clouds and rain have moved through, and we should start clearing out as we get into the overnight hours. It's currently 64 degrees with, again, overcast skies, and we have winds out of the west-northwest at 16 miles an hour. For the most part, we are in the 60s across our area. Tallahassee, we're at 64. Camilla at 61, and we're still missing data from places like Marietta and Bainbridge where those stations were taken out from Hurricane Michael. Our dew points are starting to come down. We're in the 50s across most of our area, but we got some drier conditions near Blakely at 46, and near Perry we have 62 degrees for your dew point, so you're feeling a little more muggy out. Our satellite and radar right now, we have clouds in our area, but that rain that was coming through earlier today has started to push off, and that will be the trend that's going to continue as we begin to clear out overnight. Looking across our area and at the national map, we have a couple storm systems that are going to come on down and move east across the United States. It doesn't look like this first storm system over Iowa and Missouri are actually going to make it into our area, but this one over Billings might be able to push down and help bring some rain chances as we get into the beginning of next week. Our futurecast here shows that clearing out pattern that we're going to be getting into, and tomorrow looks like an absolutely gorgeous day out, not a cloud in the sky, and no rain at all for your Saturday, so get out and enjoy the day with your friends. Tomorrow, those temperatures should be in the 50s, and in the morning, we're actually going to start out in the 40s. We should climb into the upper 60s, and it should feel absolutely amazing outside. Tonight, we will be down into the mid-40s across most of our region. Clouds should clear out, and we have winds out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we're going to be at 70 degrees. It's going to feel really nice outside. Winds out of the northeast at 7 miles an hour. For your golf forecast, maybe you want to go out, hit a few rounds of golf. We're going to start out in the 40s, make our way up into the 60s, and it should be great to go get a few rounds of golf in with all your friends. And then, once again, as we look at our 7-day, we're going to start out in the 70s tomorrow and Sunday. Some rain chances will come back into the region. And look at this. Saturday morning, Sunday morning, we're going to be in the 40s. I'm super excited to have temperatures down that low. And then rain chances on Monday and Tuesday, they'll come back as the warm front will eventually push some rain into our area. We will get back up into the 80s. Kind of unfortunate. I'm real tired of the 80s. And your lows should maintain in the 60s. And then Wednesday, Thursday will dry out again, and we'll get into Friday where we have a chance for severe weather. Now we're going to send it back to the desk where they'll close things out for tonight.
All right, thank you. So these temperatures are looking pretty nice. I mean, tomorrow morning it's going to be a very chilly morning waking up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the 83 with the rest of the 70s. I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, we were dealing with 90s before, like. That's just unbearable, but with 80, I can do it.
It's 83 with that chance of rain. It's going to be very sticky outside for that Tuesday afternoon especially.
Yeah, definitely for Monday and Tuesday with even just FSU students and also parents who are dropping your kid off to school. I would bring an umbrella just in case. You know, that's a pretty good chance that we may run into a few showers. So you don't want to be walking around campus wet. I know that's a very uncomfortable feeling, so don't do that. But for the weekend, I mean,
it's unfortunate that our game is not home. I mean, it's going to be a lovely day tomorrow, 70 degrees. I'm really excited for the weekend. Plus, getting that 1 hour of sleep overnight.
Yes. It's like the perfect combination. We got good weather, get an extra hour of sleep.
Exactly.
Wonderful. That's so great.
And with the temperature on Sunday as well, looking at about 71 degrees. So kind of similar to Saturday with those rain chances a little hyped up there. And going into Monday and Tuesday, those are the big threats of rain until the following week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. The lows are not too bad, though. I don't know, but I know Harrison said he liked the 40s, but I don't know if I'm not sure I'm ready for the 40s just yet. But I mean, hey, it'll warm up pretty quickly. So I mean, I feel like it'll be very pleasant.
And also, we don't have class tomorrow morning,
That's
so
true.
at least we have that to think about.
Unless you're going out for a run, then I think that might be good weather actually to go out for a run. But I don't run, so
Well, it depends if you're used to that temperature.
Yeah,
I mean, it's nice when it's cooler to run outside, but that temperature is pretty chilly outside. So make sure you follow us on Twitter with some more updates.
And also like us on Facebook to get our social media update as well.
And watch us live every day, Monday through Friday on YouTube /FSU Weather.
Also give us the Instagram, some FSU Weather, some love. I mean, even if you're not from FSU, send us some pictures of like if you see the seasons, because unfortunately here, we don't see seasons. So definitely send us some pics if you're not from here. Like we would love to see those pictures and maybe even show them on the show.
Yep, but for now, I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires.
And I'm student meteorologist Sarah Converse. Have a wonderful night.